What's up, everybody? I'm Kansu, and this is the Crystal Corner. Today, I wanted to get into a quick little discussion based off a question I got from someone not too long ago on tips for starting an altar. You know, what kind of things do I need on my altar? Why do I need an altar? What kind of altar should I set up? You know, these are kind of questions we're going to answer. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to give you three plus one, maybe three in the possible. If you're playing spades, I got three in the pot for you, just to see. We'll just see how it goes, Um, but first things first, rule number one when it comes to having or starting up an altar is you need to understand and know what kind of energy it is you want to be working with, okay? Because you don't want to mix up energies, You don't want to have an altar set up for money and then have deities or energies on there that are for, I don't know, maybe war or something like that. Like you don't mix a Oya, for those of you that are familiar with Yoruba Ifa, you don't mix a Oya with a Oshun. You don't mix the goddess of love and prosperity with the goddess of war and thunderstorms and hurricanes and tornadoes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, first thing, first rule, don't mix up energies. It's perfectly okay for you to build an altar. Let's say you're working on a money altar, right? It's perfectly okay for you to have like head Haru on there, or Hathor, same deity, Greek and Kemetic name. Head Haru would be her real name, Hathor is the Greek name. Okay. On the same altar with Oshun, and I also have like a Kuan Yin on there, and the Jade Emperor possibly on there, and Lakshmi, and deities of that nature. Why? Because if you're building a money altar, these are all the deities that govern money. Okay, the more aspects of a energy you can have in front of you, the more ways you know how to communicate and operate and work with it. Right. So the goddesses of or gods of love, prosperity, and money would be like Oshun, Lakshmi, the Jade Emperor. You just to name a few, and they can all definitely go on an altar together. But you wouldn't want to put like a Shango and an Eshu on those altars as well, because those energies don't work well together. Rule number two, and this is in no particular order, there is no right or wrong way to set up an altar, okay? It's your altar. Remember that it's your workspace, it's your energy, it's your power, it's your altar. And no matter how you set it up the first time or the second time, you will always make changes to it, okay? Because as you grow spiritually, your energy grows, and as your energy grows, your altars in your workspace grow. You might start with one altar and end up with 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 altars, depending on how your energies move and how many want to work with you and how many you choose to set up. There's no right or wrong way to do it, okay? But with that said, there are some elements that you're going to want on an altar, with the exception of an ancestor altar. As far as your earth element goes, they're all going to need earth, wind, fire, and water, right? So let's start with earth. Earth on your altar can be represented by crystals, so whatever crystal you feel necessary. Again, if you're working with the money altar, you're going to want to put money crystals on there. If you need money crystals, link will be in the description below, for the Crystal Corner website, because I do sell different crystal packs. But now let's get back to it. You're going to need crystals. That represents earth. You can also have like a live plant. Lucky bamboo is a really good one. Rose of Jericho is really good for altars. Um, Spider plants are great, as well as aloe vera, cactuses, things of that nature are really great for altars. In my personal opinion, this is just me. You can do what you do based off your own research, because I always recommend everyone does their own research. But for me personally, I do not keep um, a live earth element on my ancestral altar. If it's a space for the dead to be there, the things that I would keep on there would be the flowers that have died after they were already on another altar, or fake flowers or something like that, because it's the space where dead commune. So me personally, I want only dead things there. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that they're not here. It's your ancestral energy, the energies that no longer have a body but did at one point in time, right? Those are what ancestors are. Energy can't be created nor destroyed, just transferred. What does that mean? That means that when we lose our body, our soul goes back into the ethers, and it could choose to reincarnate and go into another body or not, because your soul is energy and it cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, you have to end up somewhere else based off of your own decisions and what you choose to do. So nobody ever truly dies. You know what I mean? Your body does, but your spirit and your soul never does. It lives through you. It lives through your relatives. It lives through, your offspring and people you come in contact with, which brings me up to rule number 3. When you're beginning this spiritual thing here, working on altars and doing magic and stuff like that, would behoove you, okay? It would behoove you to deal with your ancestors first. Your ancestors are to be dealt with first. So, Kansu, what kind of altar should I start? 12 times out of 12, it's going to be an ancestor altar. That's what I'm going to tell you to set up. Why do you need an ancestor altar, Kansu? Simple. Your ancestors are your closest spiritual link to get anything you need done on the mundane level of life. Okay? What is the mundane level, Kansu? What does that mean? Okay. Mundane means everyday life. That means eating, sleeping, finding somewhere to stay, food, water, your basic human necessities. Those are the mundane things in life. The deities have not, with the exception of a couple, have not incarnated in the physical. They are not real people. They are energies that are represented by different images and different colors and different offerings, okay? But they have not physically incarnated, which means they don't know what it means to be a human. They don't know what it means to pay bills. They don't know what it means to have to find food. They don't know what it means to eliminate debts and, things of that nature. So why would you go to them for that? That's not what they're there for. The types of things they offer are on a spiritual, cosmic level, usually in understanding different knowledges that they give you so that you can move forward and do the things that you need to do in your life. Now, your ancestors were here. Your grandpa Jack Jack and them was here. Grandpa Jack Jack know what it's like to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Junebug know what it's like to have to get the man off you and try to find you a new job. And those are the people you want to go to begin to get some of the spiritual stuff done down here for your physical life. Um, Second reason why you want to work with your ancestors first is because your ancestors, once freed, are able to help you a lot more readily than other deities are, because other deities are being stretched so thin, right? Everybody's calling on Oshun, or everybody's calling on Kuan Yin, blah, blah, blah. Those energies get stretched thin, but your ancestors, once you free them, not only are able to help you more, but they contribute to your own personal power so they can get things done. And they actually establish your name in the spirit realm after you work with them consistently, feeding them, leaving them offerings of water and wine and coffee and food or whatever else you feel that they need or they tell you that they need. Um, so that when you do try to go talk to a deity or talk to one of these divine energies on the other side, okay, um, you can actually get some stuff done a lot quicker than going directly to them because you have a name established. So we talked about the reason why I don't have an earth element on there. Then let's go to the water. Water is a way for the ancestors and other energies to communicate through emotion. Water represents emotion, right? I'm a Cancer, so we deal with emotions just like Pisces and Scorpios do. Now, each of these elements serve to build the body for your ancestors to communicate, but it's not going to be physical. So you need earth, which is your flesh, right? You need water, which is your emotions, but more importantly, it's your blood and your fluids, okay? Then you have the air that breathes life into your body. That's where your soul rests, but that animates, right? And you have fire, which is that spark to be able to do things. These are the 4 elements that come together to make your body. These are also communication methods for the ancestors. So some of them might be more earthly, some of them might be more water like, some of them might be more air like, and some of them might be more fire like. The reasons why we have these 4 elements on an altar is because these 4 elements are going to allow them to communicate to you through a certain way. Because I'm very emotional, they tend to communicate to me through water. So I deal with a lot of water on my altars. There's usually more water than anything. But clean glass of water on there not only serves for them to communicate, but they were literally alive. And sometimes they get thirsty and shit on the other side too. So you want to leave fresh water out for them so that they can come have a drink. You can even pour out a shot of liquor and leave that on there. If you're anything like mine, or if I'm drinking a brew, I never finish it. I pour some out at first because you always pour some out for the homies. Drink my brew, and then I leave the rest of it in the can and I put that on my altar. There's no right or wrong way to do this, right? For air, you're going to want incense on your altar, okay? Incense. Doesn't matter what kind of incense. I personally prefer knock champas, but you can use whatever it is that you like. There's no right or wrong thing. And fire, which would be a candle, a salt lamp, a lava lamp, some kind of light source. Doesn't necessarily have to be a candle because you can definitely use what you have. You know, you are sorry, you are the magician here, so you can use whatever you want, whatever you have around. I use lava lamps. I use candles. You know, I use the lights from water fountains or whatever. You just need some kind of light source to be able to track the energies to that workspace. And again, remember, there's no right or wrong way to start an altar, but I would highly recommend everyone start with an ancestral altar first. If you have any questions, uh, email address is at the link below. I'm also going to link my Instagram page, Crystal Corner, so you can go ahead and DM me any questions or comment below, and I'll get right back to you. I pride myself on quick responses when you guys ask me questions. Um, Till then, I'm Kansu, man. This is the Crystal Corner, where we sling rocks on every block, but our intention is to take your vibrations higher. Today's video was about an altar, what you need on it, and what you should start with and how to. I'll get at y'all at a later date, man. Peace.